Let that person in. Anthony in. That in. All right. People coming in.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, Robbie family. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. Thank you for asking.
Oh, yeah. Great.
Hold on. Well, we're getting started right now in our lesson. Let me see, pull right here, right quick. Minimize that. Share my screen. Screen is sharing. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
All right. Praise the mighty Yah. As you know, we're on a pathway, folks. This is what we do. Okay. We're traveling. All right. Some of the things you may hear today, you've already heard before. And that's okay. But I asked the Most High, like, well, why do you keep having us go over the same things over and over and over and over again? Because there's a path that is his. And when he sends us somewhere, he's taking us where he wants us to go. And it's like leading a flock of sheep. You know, they go to one destination. On one destination, they may receive, some different nutrients. The shepherd is completely aware of that environment. He knows if there's water there. Sometimes they go to areas that don't have water. Sometimes it's just a grazing ground. Sometimes it's some high grass. Sometimes it's a low grass. Sometimes it could be different all the time. So what we understand about the Most High is that he's leading us on his path, which is completely different than the path that we've been on before. Okay. I want to direct your attention to the purple, this purple one right here. It was one of the colors that was used right here. It was one of the colors that was mentioned in the Torah portion this week, along with the Tekhalith, which is this lavender color, but Argamon is the purple, and the purple represents royalty, and it represents majesty. Okay, so today we're going to talk about our Torah portion that we went over this week. Okay, this week we covered, some different elements. We talked about Aharon and, what his sons are going to be dedicated to serve the Most High. We talked about how the Most High was giving them instructions about what type of offerings. We found out what a tzawah is, or a tzaweh. This word tzaweh means for you right here are to command. So a tzaweh is a command. Tzaweh, okay, is a command. It could be called tzaweh, or it could be called zawah, okay? And that means a charge, okay? This tav right here is always referring to you. So the Most High has brought Moshe up into the mountain on Mount Sinai. This is the setting for him to receive, listen to me, to receive the Torah and to receive the commandments. So often you hear me say, oh, when they say that the 10 commandments, that's not true. That's not true. When the Most High spoke, he spoke 10 words to them, were the 10 words of the covenant. Okay. The 10 words are not the commandments. They're not the mitzvah. I think I've shown you that he said, now he came down when he spoke to the children of Israel. He spoke the 10 words, and after he gave them the 10 words, Moshe went up at that same day and he received what they call the mishpat, which are the judgments, the mishpatim that we went over in our Torah portions. Then when he came down, right? So they heard the 10 words. Then Moshe came down and told them what the Mishpatim was chapter number 20, 21, 22, 23, okay? And I believe a little bit of 24, yes. And he came down and he told them this. He told them Mishpatim. And after he laid it out before them, they say, yeah, everything that you said we'll do, okay? So then the Most High asked Moshe to come up now to receive the Torah, which we know that the Torah is the instructions. So I need you to come up so I can instruct you on what to do, because you need to command them, okay, about the things that I want them to do, okay? So the first part of this is the instructions on how to do the commandment. So when he talks about the Torah, he's literally saying, you know, if I told you one bull and I told you 2 rams, okay, those are my instructions. 1 bull, 2 rams for whatever, you know, for whatever it needs to be used for. I'm telling you where to put the blood. I'm telling you all these things, but also too, before we got to the Zetzawa, our Torah portion this week, last week, we talked about the Teruma, which is the contributions, which wasn't something that was a command. He never commanded a Teruma. Teruma has to be given from a willingness, as we've discussed. Okay. So now the Most High is saying, okay, now that, you know, I've asked the people, I want you to ask them, right? And see who has a willingness to give to me. Now we're going to talk about what you're going to do with that teruma. So I'm going to give you some instructions on how to use the purple, the blue, which is the tekalith, the crimson red. Now I'm going to show you what I want for the olive oil. I'm going to show you what I want with the gold. I want to show you how I'm going to use the silver that they gave. I'm going to give you all the instructions. So that's what that part of the Torah is. Okay. And he's not done. We're still in the midst of this. So when we talk about the commandments now, he's saying, I need you to command them these things. Okay. Which I'm going to show you today that chapters number, I think 27 through 30 is what we were talking about this week. Chapter 27 through 30, you know, there are the commands there that he's given them, right? And so we're going to discuss those a little bit more in detail today. And it's going to blow your mind because I'm going to show you something that you probably have never known. All right. Well, I know you don't know it because I didn't know it. Okay. So my goal, everyone, is to find out things that we don't know and then come and share it with the class so we can all grow. Okay. So the 2 themes that I wanted to talk about today is not just the Zetzawa, the Torah portion, but I want to introduce you to what the crown really means. Okay. I want to talk about the crown. Okay. And I'm also going to tell you about the request. Okay. And then, of course, the Torah here is dealing with what we're going to be doing next week. Okay. I didn't want to use the word next week. You know, this is not a business meeting. This is the Torah. So I'm going to show you what the Torah is for the following days that they're coming. Okay. Starting tomorrow. Praise be to the living Elohim. So the crown here is something that we need to understand. Okay. The word Melech means a king. Okay. And Yahweh is the king of the universe, right? And he's robed in majesty. Yahweh is robed. He's girded with strength. The world is well established. It cannot be moved. Your throne was established long ago. You have existed forever. Why am I sharing this? I'm sharing this with us because when we talk about a command, okay, commands are not suggestions, right? Commands are coming from someone in great authority. The Most High is king. I know we heard about, you know, David being the king. You know, we hear about him being king. Who's another king?
Hezekiah.
We got Hezekiah. You know, we have who's the first king of Israel?
Saul.
Shaul. He was the first one. Okay. Shaul was the first king. Okay, not David. And we're going to talk a little bit about that guy today. Okay. So the point is that this king is the one that you and I serve, is over everything, all creation, the heavens and the earth, the sun, moon, and the stars, the waters, the fish, everything in them, all the reefs, all the bacterias, everything. Okay. The Most High is the one who is the king. And no matter who he puts in place, he wants us to understand that he's the king. And so when the Most High is talking, everyone, you have to remember when you're talking to him, or you're talking about him, or you're mentioning him, or you're praying to him, whatever way that you're interacting with him, you must understand this idea of him being the king. He's the king. And what the king has is he has structure. There's a structure that is in place in order for us to understand, right, the words and the commands and the charges of the king. And so the king has structure. And what he wanted to share today with us is the idea behind the structure. Okay. In the Hebrew scriptures, I thought it would be appropriate for us to understand that there are 3 different types of commands. One is called an imperative, right? Which is something that's critical, it's necessary, it's essential, right? This is the term that they're using for. It's called an imperative, which is a command, okay? Another type of command is called a cohortative, okay? This right here, a cohortative. And then we have adjussive, okay? Adjussive. And I'm going to explain to you what these commands are. All right. So often when we look at the scriptures, we're looking, listen to what I'm saying to you, we're looking for the word command, which we would say would be called, a mitzvah or a tzawa. Let me go, messed up on my writing there. A tzawa. Okay. So we have a mitzvah and a tzawa. Okay. The difference is you have an M and an I, and then you have the command, which is the tza. I'll keep writing. Why do I want to keep writing a W? A tzawa. Okay, which is Zaweh to Tzaweh. Okay, so this mid right here means who. So this mitzvah, M-I-T-Z-A, mitzvah, which is called a commandment, is broken up in this like this. A mi, which is who, is a question mark, and then zawa, which is a charge or a command. So the only difference between a zawa, which is a command, and a mitzvah is that they say that this mitzvah is a commandment. It means who, right? Who is the one giving the command? Who's giving the command? And that's what we're going to talk about. Okay. So today you're learning that a zawah is a command. A mitzvah is a commandment, meaning something that who is the one who gives it. Okay. So in the Hebrew language, you can see that all you have to do is chop up some of these words and you will be able to find out some of the little mysteries that's there. Okay. So mitzvah is the one who is the one that's giving the command, right? So 3 ways: imperative, cohortative, and adjussive. Now you're going to find these titles, or one would say these identifications in the English language, but also too is going to be in other languages as well. So the imperative, let's begin with the imperative. The imperative has some different features that I want to tell you about. Okay. So the features of this is that an imperative is something that is a direct command. They're direct commands. They're direct. Okay. And they demand immediate action. That means when I tell you to do something, I'm not asking you to sit on it. I'm asking you to take action immediately after I tell you what I'm telling you to do. So you have to execute what I'm saying immediately. Okay. You can't sit on it. You have to do it. And it's directed. And the person that is directed to is a second person. We haven't really understood that when we have conversations, it's always going to be a first person, second person, and a third person. Okay. It's always going to be these individuals. Okay. And it's either going to be a first person singular, or it's going to be a first person, what?
Plural.
Plural. Okay. And that happens in all of these. Okay. All of them. You could be talking to one person, or you could be talking to several people. Okay. So when I give you a command, I'm either commanding the first person, second person, or third person. In this case, with an imperative, what it's going to be is you're commanding someone, the second person. So I'm, say, for example, I'm giving command to, my son. I'm saying me, I'm first person, which is Dawid, and I'm going to give a command to the second person that I'm talking to, which would be my son. Okay. So when the Most High is talking, right? So you got Yohe Wahe, right? He's given, and he says, I want to give the command to you. That it could be a second person, but that second person could be you as an individual, or it could be you as a group of people. Second person, I'm still talking to you, a group. Okay. So let's just focus on this right quick. So I have an example. I have a couple examples for us to understand that you can find in the text. Because you have to know who the Most High is talking to if you want to understand the command. Okay. It says in our Torah portion, right, in Shemot chapter number 28, it says this: you are to summon your brother, okay, Aharon and his sons, to come from among the people of Yisrael to you, so that they can serve me as a Kohanim, Aharon, his sons Nadav and Abihu and Eleazar and Ithamar. So in our Torah portion, the Creator, Yohe Wahe, is talking, and who is he talking to? Who's this you?
He's talking to Moshe.
Yes, I'm talking to Moshe. Okay, so that's an imperative. So what we understand is that he's telling Moshe to do this immediately. Okay, after I'm finished talking to you, I need you to go down and go do this. Okay, good. So this is what we need to understand. All right, so we all know, we went over this week with Aharon's name. He's a light bearer. His son is willing. This is my father, and Eleazar is my helper, and Ithamar is the one who's upright. So the Most High is calling his family. We discussed that earlier. Okay. Here's some other imperatives. A direct what? A direct command. The demands immediate action. When Raquel saw that she was not bearing children for Yaakov, she envied her sister and said to Yaakov, give me children, or I will die. Okay. This made Yaakov angry at Raquel, and he answered, am I in Elohim's place? He's the one who is denying you children. Okay. So we can learn from this. There are some things that a husband doesn't have any control over. Okay, we don't have any control over anything. But it seems here that his wife gave him an imperative. She gave him a direct command, okay, would cause immediate action, right? And she was talking directly to her husband. So that is another imperative. And now, so you can see, even though she gave a command to him, there's some commands that you and I are not able to do. There's certain things that you and I are not able to do. Yaakov understood that. And he answered her, am I in Elohim's place? So I don't have the power to give life. I don't have the power to give life. Yah is the one who gives power to have life. Okay, he might possess the seed, but guess what? You can plant a seed, but its ability to grow is dependent upon Yahweh making it happen for you. You see? So there's some things that we're not in control of. Okay. What I found in the Torah portion this week, which I want to share with you, is that out of everything that was spoken, how many commands do you think that the Most High gave to the children of Israel from chapter number 27, verse number 20, all the way to chapter number 30, verse number 10? How many commands do you think that he actually gave?
I don't know, but people tell a whole lot of lies. I know there's a whole lot of lies told about it, and I don't know, a lot of conjecture,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, thank you for that. And I love the honesty, because that's what the Most High wants us to operate in. Okay, so listen to me carefully. The Most High has only given 2. He's only given 2 commands. 2 out of all the words that he spoke, listen to what I'm saying. He said, I want you to give me the bull. You know, I want you to give me the ram. I want you to give me 2 rams. I want you to take this ram and do this and do this and do this and do that. And I want you to sprinkle the blood, blah, blah, blah. And they're saying, oh, those are all the commandments. Right? And then you and I will look at it and go, this is why we're not interested in it. Do anyone have access to a bull or 2 rams? Huh? Or gold or silver? Is there any tabernacle for us to participate in?
No.
No. So when we read this, the average person would go, it's not applicable to me. How can we find ourselves in the Torah? How can we find ourselves in these Torah portions? What would the Most High want us to know? Is you think he's telling us, well, I want you to know that I chose Aaron and his sons, and I want to give you their names. I want you to know that I want some bulls and I want some rams and I want this and I want some minka. I want some gold and some silver. I want you to make a breastplate. I want you to make an ephod. I want you to make all these things that you and I have no idea what those things mean. So because you don't know what it means, you get discouraged. And you say, it doesn't make sense to me. I'll just hurry up and read through this. Okay. Yes, Azania, go ahead.
Actually, when I was reading those during the Torah portion, I really swelled up. I thought that they were beautiful. And I thought that they just like, he had so much hope for our nation, and the way he dressed Aaron, and I just thought it was beautiful, and it was so detailed, and I loved it. I really loved it. I thought it was beautiful, and he had such a perfect plan for us. And so, yeah, I loved it.
That's beautiful. That's beautiful because that's true, right? So you got that from it, right? So we could look at the beauty, we could look at the majesty, the embroidery, the sash, the ephod, the stones, the precious stones, the gold plate, you know, the zeets on the top of Aaron's head, you know, that was tied with the Caliph cord, and it had the chains of gold, and you know, each one of the stones had Israel's name engraved, and all these things. Okay, but what can we take from it to apply to our lives? Okay, so in my discovery, I went to go look, and I said, well, how many imperatives are there? Remember, you don't supposed to just look for the word command. The command is in the way that it's the action. It's in the imperative. It's in the way that it's conjugated. And forgive me for not going over that. But really what a conjugation is, a conjugation, everyone, is dealing with how a verb functions, okay? So verbs are actions. That's all they are. They're actions, okay? And so it tells you how these verbs are functioning. Are they functioning in the past? Are they functioning in the present? Is it functioning in the future? And how is it? Is it done? Is it being done? Is it, you know, is it something going on right now? Is it done? What kind of mood is it in? What kind of tense? You know, is it in an angry tense? Is it in a forceful way? What kind of way is it? Right? So when we talk about an imperative is literally how this this command is functioning, how this verb is functioning. So some verbs are just actions, but there's also verbs that operate as commands. So when the Most High is speaking, the way that he's speaking is functioning as a command, okay? So when we look here, and I found that there's only 2 imperatives. There's only 2 that the Most High spoke. The first one is called karav, okay? That you see on your screen, the Q, the A, the R, the A, the B, the karav, okay? Quadrav, okay? And la quak, okay? So the karav means something, and so does the lakak, okay? The karav means this. The Most High, when he told Moshe, go and and go have your brother, not go take your brother. Okay. Go approach, have your brother come close and approach you, him and his sons. Remember the verse that we just read? Remember this verse right here? You are to summon your brother. That word summon right there means karav. Okay. That's what it means. Q-A-R-A-B, karav. And karav means I want you to go and draw your brother close to you. Okay. That's what I want you to do. That's the first imperative. I want you to go and have him approach and draw near and come close and make ready. And say, Yah, what is it that you're trying to tell us? Yah is saying, I want you to prepare. I think earlier this week, we talked about what a priest is supposed to do. A priest is supposed to be prepared and they have to be of a ready mind, right? So the command that the Most High is letting us know about are these things here. The Most High is letting you know that he wants you and I to draw near. He wants us to approach to him. He wants us to come close to him. He wants us to get ready to make ourselves available to him. That's the command that he wants for us to know. This is the reason why there's only two of them. And the first one is this one. I want you to approach. But also, too, there's another flip side to this that I want you to see. Okay. So the action is approach, draw near, and come close and make yourself ready. Okay. So let's let somebody in right quick. Here's the flip side, is letting you know that I'm approaching. Karav means to approach, but it also means that something is approaching. It also means that something is drawing near and something is coming close. And therefore, you need to make yourself ready. The Most High is talking to us and he's telling us the first command that I want you to understand about this Torah portion is this. When you think about how he's preparing Aharon and his sons, and yes, Akoti, it was beautiful. It's beautiful. But he's saying when you come to approach me and you draw near to me and you come close to me and you make yourself ready, you're going to have to set yourself apart. That's the only way you're going to be able to approach me. Because I'm approaching you. I'm going to come close to you. I'm on my way. I'm on my way. I'm approaching. Because I want you to know that I want to dwell with you. That's the goal. The whole Torah portion this week was surrounded about this idea of preparing a people, of preparing a nation to be prepared to come and to draw near to the Most High. Yes, there were some limitations, or only Aaron and his sons, but they're the example, okay, of what the nation is supposed to be like. So the Most High can't have millions of people come to him at one time. He said, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to have one family approach me. And in this family, it's called the Kohen. They're the ones that I established. They're the ones who are going to take root. Those are the ones who are firm. They're the ones that I chose because I know there's something about them that I want to use within them, whether it's negative, because our Levi's family was the one who was violent. They were a very violent family. Him and Simeon were killing people all the time and laming animals. You see, and his father said, I don't want even my name to be mentioned among you. So the Most High took that in particular son's family and said, okay, so Yaakov said, I don't want to dwell in your midst. So the Most High moved his family into this position to approach him, just like he came to your family. Listen to me carefully. I've chosen your family out of all the people in your family. So you can approach me. So you can draw near to me. So you can come close. So make yourself ready. As we find in the book of Malachi. The book of Malachi was talking about how the children of Israel, especially the Kohanim, more specifically the priesthood, that you and I think, well, I'm not a Levim. Right? Oh, I'm not a priest. I'm not from that family. You got to understand something. They're just a representative of the nation. It's reflective of what the nation is like. If the priests are tripping, the people are tripping. If the priests are complaining, the people are complaining. In the book of Malachi, those people were doing nothing but complaining all the time. The first verse of the book of Malachi says the prophecy of Malachi. That is not true. The first verse in Malachi is what is the burden of the Most High? My messenger, which is the priest, he says that the priests are his messengers in chapter number 2, verse number 10, if I'm not mistaken. His messengers were going around saying it was a burden having to approach Yah. It's a burden drawing near to him. So they would bring him the worst of what they had. They didn't even care. They were apathetic. They thought this was a waste of time. They didn't care about preparing. They didn't care about getting ready. Everything the guy had asked them to do was a burden. That's what the book of Malachi is about. That's what Malachi is about. They're complaining all the time that the Most High is a burden. Listen what the Most High says to his messenger. But because I, Yahweh, do not change, you sons of Yaakov will not be destroyed. It's not because you don't deserve to be destroyed. It's simply because I don't change. I'm the king of the universe. I'm not a man. When I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Since the days of your forefathers, you have turned from my laws and have not kept them. Return to me, shuv, and I will return to you, says Yahweh Zavaoth. Now, I want you to pay very careful attention to the word down here called Zawaoth. Oh, wait a minute. What does that sound like? Oh, that sounds like Zawa, which is a command. Oh, that sounds like mitzvah. Oh, that's the commandment. Oh, then it's mitzvoth. Oh, so we got Zawa, mitzvoth, which is plural right here. This is singular. Oh, then we got Zawa, this kid in Yahweh, Zawaoth. Oh, the one of what? The one of armies? Oh, wait a minute. So Yahweh, the one of the heavens armies, the one who gives charge, the one who's the king of the universe, the one who's over commands over the Malachim and the Seraphim and the Malachim. Are you saying that he gives commands to everything, to the sun and the moon and the stars? That's the one who's talking. I'm the Elohim. I'm Yahweh over commandments. But you asked him, what respect are we supposed to return and shoot? How are we supposed to turn? And what are we supposed to turn from? What have you been turning from? What are you supposed to return to? You're supposed to return to the laws and the statutes of the Most High. You're supposed to return from what they call Pasha. Pasha. What's Pasha? Doesn't sound nice, does it? Pasha is rebellion. That's what Pasha is. It's rebellion. When I acknowledge my rebellion to you, when I stop concealing my guilt, meaning covering my guilt, hiding my guilt, I said, I will confess my offenses to Yahweh. I will confess my perversion to Yahweh. Then you forgave the guilt of my sin. This word sin right here is not just a normal sin. This sin is Pasha, which it has to do with rebellion. I left it there on purpose. I didn't transliterate it or translate it to rebellion, but it is rebellion. That's what we're supposed to turn from, people. This is the reason why the Most High has given us a command. You can't draw near, approach, come close to Yah if you haven't decided to turn away from your rebellion. Well, tell me, Dawid, you're saying that I'm a rebel? What are you saying? Huh? I thought it was just to the priest he's talking to. No. A rebel is someone, listen to me carefully. A rebel is not just a bitter person. They're bitter about what Yah's asking them. A rebel is somebody that is hostile. They're openly hostile to Yahweh's ways. They're always complaining about what a burden it is to serve the living Elohim. They are resistant to following the ways and the commands of Yahweh Zawaoth. They're openly defiant. I will not wear my tzitzits. I will not have a beard. I will not keep the Shabbat. The commandments don't apply to me. And they're disobedient to what the Most High has said openly. There's rebels that are hiding, but there's rebels that are outward in their presentation and their behavior. Because they believe what the Most High is asking them to do is a burden. They don't want to carry the burden. Yahweh's ways is a burden. Yahweh's commands is a burden. Yahweh's kukim is a burden. His moedim are a burden. The Shabbat is a burden. I can't keep it. I don't have enough time. I got too much to do. I got all these things to do, and I don't have enough time. And Yah gave you 6 days to do your work. And on the 7th day is set apart to Yahweh. There is no excuse. The second command that was found in our Torah portion is called laquak. Most High, what does it mean to laquak? It means to take. It means to seize. It means to learn. Take what? You take the opportunity. What I want you to do, I want you to seize the moment that you're living in. In the Hebrew, it has to do with tongs that one would use to pull something out of the fire, like a hot coal. You would take that, you take the tongs and you go and you grab whatever you need to do out of the fire or grab a coal from the fire. You would seize it from that. Extended meaning to learn. To do what? Take the teaching. Take the teaching. Take the guidance. Seize the moment. I love what you said, Akoti Azania. You said you and your husband now are going to do this together. You guys are going to learn together. You're going to seize the opportunity to learn. You're going to take hold of it. You're going to learn. This walk that you and I are in is one of learning, and we have to seize that moment. If we don't seize it, we're going to lose it. And you're not going to get it. You got to take it. That's the command. Yah knows that you don't have any bulls, you don't have any goats. He knows it. Well, I have 2 commands there for you. Can you do those 2 things? Can you take immediate action? Those are the imperatives that I asked you to do. Can you do it? Can you? Those are direct commands. Direct commands. I need you not to sit on what I said. I need you to take action. And that's from the King of the universe. The cohortative. The features of this is like a wish or a request, or it is somewhat of a command. It's a little different though, because it's not dealing with one person talking to another. This is a first person. This is somebody that's talking to themselves. They have a desire, they have a wish, they have a request. They're giving themselves a lightweight command. It's a volition, means their desire of their own will. An example of this is found in Yechezkel. Listen to this. And that which you have in mind, when you say, we, thought you said it's first person, I am, it's first person, common, plural. We, a group, first person, we as a nation will be like the Goyim. That's your cohortative right there. That's your desire, like the families of other countries, serving wood and stone. Our nation wants to be like everybody else. They see these other families, they want to be like them. They want to dress like them. They want to eat like them. They want to live like them. They want to think like them. They want to serve gods of wood and stone. Because the wood don't talk back. And the stone does not hold you responsible for your actions. The wood and the stone don't walk among you. The wood and stone does not hear the words that come out of our mouths. When the Most High is talking about what you guys want to do, I know what you want to do. I know your desire. I know what you want to do. This is not the desire of the Most High. This has been our desire. This has been this strong desire, this hope, this expectation that you and I want to attain, but it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You will never be like the nations. Not if it's left up to the Most High. That's not the end game for us. He said it will never, certainly not happen. Israel does not want to be alone. Israel hates being alone. Israel is lonely. Israel is by themselves. Israel has only one Elohim. And it bothers them that they can't see him. So the nations have put a God in front of you that you can hold on to, that you can look at, that you can pray to, that you can bow down to. Even the prophet or the seer of the time called Balaam said, this people, from the top of the rocks, I see them. Who? Yisrael. And from the hills, I behold them. Yes, a people that will dwell alone and not think itself of the nations, itself one of the nations. You will never dwell with the nations when Yah's in our midst. So you need to change your mindset. You need to get used to being alone. Stop whining and complaining about being alone. Yah has brought us out to the wilderness so we could be alone. I separated you from your family right now so you can be alone, so I can talk to you. And I can get you to start thinking the way I want you to think. I can start teaching you. Because I'm about to approach and I'm about to destroy. And I don't want to destroy you, Israel. I am Yahweh, and that's the only reason why you sons of Jacob are not destroyed, is because I have not changed. You're living in a way that you think is right, which one would call in the Hebrew tongue Yashar. That's where you get your English word Jasher. The book that they wrote that they're telling you is the book of the upright ones. It's not. You read the book of Jasher, it's not instructions. It's not. They don't even have a Hebrew version of it. Don't read it. I read it. Don't read it. It's not helpful to you. It's not needful for you. You will not do things the way we do them here today, where everyone does whatever in his own opinion seems right. Because you haven't yet arrived at the rest and the inheritance which Yahweh your Elohim is giving you. In the nations that you and I are in right now, we are doing what we believe to be right in our own opinion. And we have established it to be what you would call righteousness. Yah has said that I'm not bringing you into the land because of any righteousness that you have done. It's because I haven't changed. It's because of my reputation of my name, and you and I need to get used to that. He knows what you and I are doing. He understands it. It's a lonely road. Final is adjustive. Very mild. It's a command again. It's a very mild command. It's a very strong wish that a person would want for somebody else to do. Talking about somebody in the third person who's not standing there. First person is I'm talking to you. I am the first person. You are the second person. He, she, or it is the third person. So if I'm having a conversation and I have a desire and I can talk to you, if I'm talking to you, it's not my desire. I don't talk to you in a strong wish and desire. If I'm talking directly to you, I'm giving you an imperative, IMP, okay? I'm giving you the imperative, okay? That's what I'm giving. If I'm talking to myself, then that's when I'm going to do the cohortive. Okay. Now that I'm talking about this right here, it's the adjussive. I'm talking about what I want for this person or this person or this thing. There's not there standing there. It's a wish. It's a desire that I have for them or I want them to do. Because this wish, this desire, and this command always has to do with an action. It's always associated with an action. And here's an example. The example is this. She called him Yosef. This is after Raquel had her son. Put your device on mute, please. Thank you. Saying, may Yahweh add to me another son. That was a Joseph. May Yahweh. See, she's talking. And she's talking about a third person. She's the first person. And this is the third person. She's talking about what she wanted the third person to do, which is Yahweh. She wanted to add, she asked at that time, she called her son Yosef and she said, may Yahweh add to me another son. She wasn't talking directly to Yahweh. She was talking about what she wanted Yahweh to do, which is the third person. And so in summary, we find that commands can be in three different ways. Three different ways, and that's the structure of the language. That's the structure of the king. See? So when the Most High is talking to us, you got to understand that the command is a structure. I'm talking to you in a very structured way, which brings us to the request. Okay? It's a little different now. All the leaders of Israel gathered themselves together and approached Shimei and Ramah and said to him, look, You have grown old and your sons are not following your ways. Now make us a king to judge us all like the nations. To judge us like all the nations. That's what they want. This is what the leaders of Israel wanted. And a matter of fact, when they spoke to him, this right here was a command. It was an imperative. They're talking directly to him and say, look, right? Giving a command to them, to him. Okay. Somebody say, well, Shemuel was not one of the Kohanim. He was a little kid that the Most High got, and he was dedicated as a, when he was a child by his mother. He was from the line. You can go look in Chronicles that he is from the line of Levi. He is from the line of Levi. That's why he was able to do service, and that's why he was able to be a judge. Okay. And that's why he gave his sons the rights, and his sons were crooked. And they were using people for money. They were doing all kinds of things. You need to read chapters number 8 through chapter number 15, and you'll find out about the life of Shemuel, his sons, and our king, our first king, which is Shaul. So when I was doing this Torah portion this week, I was like, yeah, what do you want me to know about, this Haftarah? Because our Haftarah is in chapter number 15. Which is an additional reading that goes along with your Torah portion to kind of help you get some ideas about what the Most High is talking about. So in chapter number 15 that's where we're going to go in a second, is telling us about how that's connected to the commandments. Okay. So I said, well, I don't want to know just chapter number 15 because I want to know the whole entire story, and I want to know where it began. I want to know the end. The reason why I've done this, everyone, is simply because I'm bent on integrity of the text. So anything that I put in and anything that you see right here is in my presentation is not there to woo you and wow you and to make you think where I can put other scriptures together that have nothing to do with each other. I went over 4 or 5 different scriptures this morning that had to do with the commandments, but it was in a way that had to do with the Kukim, the Mishpatim. So it really wasn't focused on the commandments, but it made sense. But most I was like, don't mix and match my commands. Don't mix and match my words so you can make somebody think something is different. If I'm going to speak something, I need to speak it in context. That's one of the problems with our people. They like to take things out of context. Okay. So if the Most High is talking about a command and he's talking about the Kukim and he's saying, well, this is the command for the Kukim and the Mishpatim, don't try to take that and make it work somewhere else. It should be right where it's at. So everything that I present to you today, and I have in the past, but even more today, is because the Most High has given a command that said for us not to do certain things. And we're going to go over that. So when this happened, when the leaders of Israel came and they gathered themselves, they wanted a king. That's what they want. We want a king over us like all the nations. Again, they want to be like everybody else. And then what happened is that there was an intervention. Okay. And so Shemuel, he wanted to intervene. Okay. And often too, when we are approached with people and, and especially for people who are connected to the Most High, and we see that they're doing something that we want not to happen, or we want to stop them from doing what they want to do, then we want to go in and we want to intervene on people's behalf so they don't make the mistakes that we can clearly see that they're about to make. So this is what Shemuel did. He went, as his job is, to go to the Most High and intervene on behalf of the people. That intervention is found in this idea of the mouth and authority. Okay. I switched it up a little bit for us today. I usually give you the letters to tell you what it is, and then I'll explain to you what the letter means. But now I'm going to tell you, I'm going to give you the actual, thing, the noun, and I want you to tell me what letter it is. So when I talk about the mouth, I got you thinking, what letter in the Hebrew language has to do with the mouth?
Pay.
Huh?
Pay.
Thank you. Praise Yah. It's the pay. It's called pay, and it's P-E-Y. That's the name of it. This is what the letter looks like. Sometimes the letter will have a dot in it. That gives it a hard P sound. When the dot is not there, it's a PH sound. Okay, so it's a like as in phone. Okay. So the letter pay can have two sounds. It can have a P sound with the dot in it, or you take the dot away and it has a phone sound, like PH sound. Okay. So you're correct. So what does a mouth do? Now that we know it's a mouth, what's the function of a mouth? What does it do?
It speaks.
It speaks. So words come out of that mouth. Okay, so tell me about it. It's how does it move? How does it operate? It opens. Put your device on mute. Thank you. So it speaks, it opens. Okay, it speaks and it opens, right? And it speaks words, and we know that. Okay, tell me about this authority. What letter in the Hebrew language would be the authority?
Lamed.
Oh, wow. Lamed, which is the shepherd's staff. Okay. And it's called a lamed. L-A, and I should move that so you can see it. Forgive me. L-A-M-E-D. Lamed. That's the name of it. Okay. And it's a staff. Okay. Which means authority. Okay. Right. Just kind of mixing it up for you. So the word for pleading for someone is called halal. It means to pray. It means to intercede on somebody's behalf. It's trying to intervene, to make an intervention on someone else's behalf. And it also means that the mouth speaks, so it speaks authority. So the mouth is speaking to authority, because that's what a staff is means to or for. So you're speaking to or for some authority. The authority that Shemuel is talking to is the king of the universe. He's talking to the Melech of the heavens. He's talking to the one who is the king. Okay, listen to this carefully. All right. So what we can learn here is that when someone gets in trouble, and Shemuel knows that the Most High is the king, but the people are coming and they want something that's different from the king. They don't want their king anymore. This is a lesson that we need to learn today. Okay. So he pursues that in what they would call a palal. He goes and he speaks to them and he's interceding on them on their behalf. And listen what it says. Shemuel was not pleased to hear them say, give us a king to judge us. So he prayed to Yahweh, meaning he pleaded to the Most High. Yahweh said to Shemuel, listen to the people, to everything they say to you. For it is not you that they are rejecting. They are rejecting me. They don't want me to be king over them. What are we supposed to learn from this? Well, I put over here in these parentheses right here, I put a little I there. And that I right there is telling you that it is in an imperative. It's an imperative. So the Most High now has given a command to listen to the people. He's commanding Shemuel to listen to the people. It's necessary. An imperative means it's critical. I need you to do this. I need you to listen to them. My command to you is listen to them. Right? Listen to the people, to everything they say to you. Why? Because it's not you that they're rejecting. They are rejecting me. They don't want me to be king over them. Often as leaders and as people who are following the Most High, we want to intervene for people. We want Yah, because Shemuel knows what's going to happen to these people. He knows, and the Most High is going to give him a detailed report about what's going to happen. So often we want to stop what Yah says, let it happen. If a person they don't want Yah, well, who are you and I to go and tell them or tell the Most High? They don't want you. They reject, because he took it personal. He said, they're not rejecting you. They're not rejecting your leadership. They're rejecting me. You see, women, you have a husband. You're trying to understand why he's not listening to the Most High. You think he's rejecting what you're saying? He's not rejecting you. He's rejecting the Most High. Fathers, your sons and your daughters are not listening to you. You take it personal. You get angry. You run to your idol called anger and disappointment and frustration. Smash the idol and understand they're not rejecting you. They're rejecting him. Mothers, your sons won't listen to what you're saying. You want to intervene and you want to pray on their behalf? Yah says, listen to what they're telling you. Listen to everything they're saying. Give them what they want. Because they're not rejecting you. They're rejecting me. And they're rejecting me because I'm the king. They don't want me to rule them. Therefore, they're going to say what they're saying because they don't want me. Imperative means that it's critical. It's critical that Shemuel follows the command. Remember, it is a command that he's telling. He's not telling him to, passively listen to them. He is giving a direct command to Shemuel. Now he has to obey. Because this has to do with a command. See, it doesn't say command here, so we don't think it's a command. It is a command. That's why we need to learn the Hebrew language. So when you read it, you'll know, oh, that's a command. This is a command. Well, it doesn't say zawah. No, it's a command. It doesn't say no word commandment mentioned here. No, it's a command. Where does it say it? Got to know the language. Got to know the structure. It's critical. They are doing to you exactly what they've been doing to me from the day I brought them out of Egypt until today, by abandoning me and serving other gods. Another command. So do what they say, meaning listen. That do right there is Shema. Listen to them. Listen. Shema. Listen to them. Listen to what they tell you. They tell you they want to marry foreign women. Listen to them. They tell you they don't want to keep the Shabbat. Listen. Listen to them. Give them what they want. I'm commanding you. Because the work that I need to do on them is going to be interfered by you. I want my mother and my brother, my sister, my cousin to be safe. Listen to them. Give them what they want so I can do the work, because you can't help them. My relationship with you is with you. You obey what I say. Yah did not put a priest in a place in order for them to stand in a place and always try to, move Yah towards another movement. They're only there to follow and execute the laws and the statutes and the commandments and show the people the difference between clean and unclean. They're not there to chop down Yah's laws. They're not there to make excuses for the people. If you sin against Yah, you're done. If you rebel against him, you're done. The priests are not there to absorb your sins. The Christian idea is that somebody else is going to come and take your place and take responsibility for your actions, your deeds, and your conduct, and you can walk away free. They are not there for that purpose. And the Christian church has been teaching this to us for hundreds and hundreds of years. We're a people who don't want to be held responsible. I'm giving you the command today to do what they say. But you give them a solemn warning, a sober warning. You tell them what kind of rulings, mishpatim, that their king will make. I want you to tell him what he's going to do. I want you to tell your family what's going to happen. But you do what they want. You let them know. Here it is. When I looked at this, the Mishpatim, the Most High talks about their behavior and their conduct. Since they don't want Yah to be their king, and I want you to listen to this very carefully so you can see some connections between where you are right now. Okay? So we don't want Yah to be our king. Get it? We never wanted him to be our king. Never. We don't want the rulership. See, they want to be able to see somebody. They choose weakness over majesty. And as a result of that, these are the behaviors of the king that you're under. This king is going to put you in military service. This king is going to make you field workers, perfume makers, cooks, bakers, seamstress, servants, male and female, additional taxes. You're going to be cleaning their houses. You're going to be feeding their kids. You're going to be working their fields. You're going to be used by them, by this king. You don't want me as your king. I asked you for 10% of the tithe to give to the poor. This guy's going to ask you for another 10% on top of that, which is 20%. Double. You're going to lose. He's going to take your sons and send them off to war, his wars that he causes because of his arrogance, and they're going to kill your sons. That's right. When he's working the field, it ain't going to be just your fields that you work in. You go have to work his fields too. You're not going to be making perfumes for yourselves. You're going to be making it for him and his women. That's what you're going to be doing. I'm going to put you in industry now. Okay. You're going to cook and bake and make all kinds of meals. You're going to be doing so much sewing, your fingers are going to hurt. And if you look at the word seamstress, there's a word in there that you need to understand. There's stress when it comes to working, especially when you're sewing. It's stress. It's not as easy as you think it is. It's very stressful. You're going to serve these people, your king. They're going to put burdens on you because that is what the behavior is. So you ask yourself, well, what's the difference between serving the Most High? Because the Most High has a military service. The Most High has people that work the fields. The Most High had somebody make some perfume, then he asked for the anointing oil. The Most High asked for us to bake bread and sit it on top of the shlukan, which is the table of presence in him. The Most High does have people that made to sew the garments. The Most High does have servants, and the Most High does have a 10% of tithe. So what's the difference between him and the Most High? Yahweh's everything that he has done is for righteousness and for glory and for beauty and for splendor. Every ornament that anybody ever made was for the glory of the Most High, to bring beauty to our people. Our people didn't fight wars just to be fighting them. They fought them for righteousness for the Most High. If there were fields that were going to be worked, it was worked so you could feed the poor and your family. Yah has only made one type of perfume for himself, and it was only for him. But remember, Yah's a burden. So let's get rid of Yah and let's get another king. Let's get rid of Yah and let's be like the nations. Let's get rid of Yah. Let's move him out of our lives because we don't want him part of this because it's too hard. The people and their king are self-willed. And there's a lot of us today that are self-willed, meaning we cannot listen or take any instruction from nobody. And whatever we do, we're going to do it the way we want to do it, no matter what the Most High says. The warning was, when that happens, you will cry out on the account of your king, just like we're doing among the nations, whom you yourselves chose. We chose to go into exile, people. We chose not to listen. Well, I didn't know. I wasn't there. Your ancestors, the people you came from, made a decision. But when that happens, Yahweh will not answer you because of your choices. However, the people refused to listen to what Shemuel told them. They were warned. The Most High was considered enough to even give them a warning. They said, no, we want a king over us so that we can be like all the nations with our king to judge us, to lead us, and fight our battles. Oh boy, was that a mistake. Sometimes, even after Yah gives you a warning and he tells you what it's going to be, you still go, nah, I'm going to still do it. I'm going to still do it. After somebody gave you a warning and told you that this is going to be your end, you're like, nope, I'm going to still do it. That's an obstinate person. That's somebody who just keeps stubbornly refusing to change their own opinion. They don't want to change the course of action. Why? Why don't they want to change the course of action? Because they're obstinate and they're stubborn. They're very stubborn. They're very self-willed. They don't want their will to be governed by anybody. They don't want to fall under the direction of the command of the king called Yahweh Zavaoth, despite attempts to persuade them to do so. So even though the Most High was trying to get these people to not go in the direction that would be harmful to them, okay, it wasn't just preserving himself. He was saying, listen, this is not good for you. So how did the Most High know that Shaul was going to do this? How did he know that? How did he know that this king is going to do these things before he did it? What is the Most High telling us? I know what's going to happen before it happens because I'm not in time. Okay, I see everything. I see the beginning, I see the end, and I see everything in the middle. I see the past, I see the future, and I see the present. I see it all. That's the reason why I could give you a command in the imperative, I could give a cohortive, and I could give you a jussive. I created a command. I structured a command. I give commands to everything. I give everything will. I give it desire. That's why I'm asking you to lakak, to take and seize the moment, to learn what a command is. But if you're going to continue to be stubborn, you're going to continue to refuse to do what I say, you're going to continue on your own course, despite how many attempts I've made to try to persuade you to do differently, let it be. Just like Yah can command that which is good for us, he can command that which is not good. We're always trying to intervene. We're always trying to make a way, especially for those who are self-willed. What does this have to do with the command? You'll see. Impatience, an impatient person is the person who is not willing to wait. In our Torah portion this week, we found out the Most High told Moshe to tell the sons, Aaron and his sons, that when they get inaugurated, they were supposed to stay in that place for how long? How long are they supposed to stay while they're being inaugurated? How many days are they supposed to stay in that Mishkan area?
Wasn't it 7?
It is. It's 7 days. It's a complete cycle of 7 days. Okay? It means complete. In our reading of this week, in the book of Shemuel, I'm not there in chapter 15 yet, I'm building up to 15. In 13, it says this. Shaul waited 7 days as Shemuel had instructed. He gave him instructions. I need you to wait 7 days. But Shemuel didn't come to Gilgal. So the army began to drift away from him. So let me give you some context here. The Most High has given and anointed Shaul as a king, given the people what they wanted, right? He's tall, he's handsome, right? He has a little coward in him too, though. He does, because when they called him, they were looking for him. He was hiding among the military equipment. And they called him and they went and they found him. And some people in Israel were like, I'm not following this guy. I don't want him to be my king. I'm not following him. But at any rate, the Most High had anointed him to be king. And they were having some problems because this request for a king came from the fact that the children of Israel were being invaded and they were being harassed by a king called Ammon, or the king of Ammon. I think it's Ammon and Ammon. And they were tired of, this back and forth. And so they were like, let's get us a king. They're thinking a king is going to solve their problems because obviously they're not trusting in the Most High. So Shaul becomes the king. And now the Philistines are tripping. Now they're trying to, cause problems. So now at this in particular time, there's a war that was about to go on. And Shaul, he had a whole bunch of people with him. And so this time he had a whole bunch of people. He was instructed to wait 7 days. As the 7 days went on, the people started leaving. The army started drifting away. They started getting discouraged. And so Shaul said, bring me the burnt offering and the peace offering, because they had to wait according to the Torah, the instructions given by Shemuel, because he explains to them the rulership and what it means to be a king, because that's found in Deuteronomy chapter number 17. He begins to tell them this is the judgments, the mishpatim, how kings are supposed to rule. This is what a priest is supposed to do. This is what we're supposed to do anytime we go to war. We're supposed to go out, sound the shofar, sound the trumpets. We're supposed to bring the Ark of the Covenant. We're supposed to seek out permission. We have the Thummim and Urim, the two stones that were mentioned this week in the Torah portion, to see if Yahweh say yes or no. The decisions were made by the Most High because the Most High is the king. So now Shaul said, bring me the burnt offering and the peace offerings. And he offered them, he offered the burnt offering. He didn't get to the peace offering. So he had no right, because he's not authorized to do any type of sacrifices. So he didn't wait for the Most High. He didn't wait for Shemuel. He didn't. And the reason why he didn't is because he got scared because the people were drifting away from him. So of course, as we've been talking about, our people don't like to be alone. They like to get the accolades. They like to get the support. They want to get the encouragement. They need people around them, because if they don't have people around them and they're by themselves, then all of a sudden now, they got to make a move. They need to get the approval of other people. And that's been our problem, because we want to be like everybody else. So he decides, I'm not going to wait. I'm not going to do what I'm instructed, what I was commanded to do. And I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to do it myself. And he did this because of the pressure that was upon him. He felt compelled inside of himself to do it because the people were leaving him. So when Shemuel said, when he came on the same day. So immediately after he made this offering, the same day, not another day, not, just a few minutes later, Shemuel said, what have you done? Shaul answered, I saw that the army was drifting away from me, and that you hadn't come during the time appointed, which is a Moedim, and that the Philistine had assembled at Michmash. And I said, now the Philistine will fall on me at Gilgal, and I haven't asked for the favor of Yahweh. So I forced myself, and I offered the burnt offering. Chapter number 13 is the first time, since chapter number 8 of him being called and being anointed, that he made this mistake. The mistake was that he wasn't patient. He was impatient. And what we're supposed to learn from this is that your impatience can cause you to go away from what the Most High said, because you're not getting it when you think you should have it. The Most High knows what we need, and he'll be there even in the same day. This man could have waited another hour? So he uses time as his excuse. I got to get it now. I got to do it now because I'm forced with this problem. As if the Most High is not aware, like the Most High doesn't exist. Do you understand? See? So Shemuel says, what have you done? He asked him a question. What have you done? right? And guess what he told him? He told him that what you have done is foolish. This is what you have done. What you have done is very foolish. What you have done going against the command is foolish. Okay, listen what he says. Shemuel said to Shaul, you did a foolish thing. You didn't observe the mitzvah. There's your word right there from the Torah portion. Mitzvah. That man right there is who has given the command. Who is given the command? Yahweh. That's who it's from. You didn't observe it. You didn't guard what the Most High said. Okay? Which he gave you. Through what? Through what the priest had said. Through what he said. We're going to get the command from who the Most High told us we're going to get the command from. We got the commands from Moshe. We're going to get the commands from Aharon. We're going to get the commands from them. We're going to get the commands from these people. You see? So the king cannot override the commandment of the Most High. You're not going to get your commands from the book of Yashayahu. You're not going to get your commands on how to do anything, on how to live from the prophets. You're not. You're not going to get the commands. You're not going to get the commands from the Psalms or the Proverbs. You're not getting your commandments from those places. You're only going to get your commands from the Torah of Yahweh. The mitzvah, mitzvot, mishpatim, hukim, and moedim. That's what you're going to get out of the Torah. You understand? So we have to listen to whom the Yahweh has given for us to listen to. Moshe said, the Most High called me and told me that I'm the one who's supposed to teach you the laws, the statutes, and the commandments. Aharon is in that family to tell you the difference between clean and unclean. But he didn't listen, which Yahweh had gave you. If you had, Yahweh would have set up your kingship over Israel forever, meaning for you and your descendants. But as it is, your kingship will not be established. Yahweh has sought for himself a man after his own heart, and Yahweh has appointed him to be prince over his people, because you did not observe what Yahweh ordered you to do. And that word right there, observation, means to guard what was ordered in the guard, and what was ordered was the Zawah. Because you weren't willing to wait. Because you're impatient. Because you have to have it right now. Because you're so arrogant and insecure in your position, and you care about what other people think, that you move on past what Yahweh said. You see? This is the problem. It was foolish. The word foolish in the Hebrew is called the opposite of sakal. Okay? It's the opposite. Sakal means to be wise. If you're not wise and you're not sakal, okay, meaning to use prudence, okay? If you're not, you don't have the ability to consider situations with understanding and comprehension, right? In order for you to be successful or prosperous, because that's the whole point. The whole point of wisdom, everyone, and the whole point of understanding is so you can have a prosperous or successful outcome. So Shaul is teaching us a lesson. Okay. Matter of fact, I don't know if you know what Shaul's name means, but Shaul's name means to request, because the people made a request for a king. And what you're requesting is the unknown, because you don't know. You're looking for an answer. You're trying to draw something out. That's what it is, to draw out the unknown. That's what his name means. So the Most High is using him and chose him. The Most High chose this man. He appointed him to be the king over Israel. He sent Shemuel and say, hey, choose this guy. This is the guy they want a king. I'm going to show them their king. So the Most High chose somebody that he knew that would be this way on purpose. Remember what he said to Shemuel, give the people what they want. Okay, give them what they want. Okay, give them the person that they want. So the Most High handpicked a person that would fulfill his purpose. So the Most High is sending Shaul into the Israel's nation and community so they can know what it means, what the opposite of the Most High is like. They're going to know what it means to be in bondage by this man. They're going to know what it means he showed the arrogance of this man who wasn't willing to wait on the Most High. He knew that this man was going to be like this. And all because he knew it doesn't mean he's not going to put him in his service. He's using Shaul to show the people what it's going to be. He's using Shaul to draw out something out of the children of Israel. He's using Shaul for it to be the unknown about what's inside of the people. So the Most High is going to use somebody in your life. He's going to bring somebody in your life on that he knows it's not good for you because that's who you want. So he can draw out something out of you. So you might have to suffer. And he says, when you suffer, I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not going to listen to your cry. When you're crying out to me because the person that you thought was going to do you good, I'll put that person there since you didn't want to listen to me. Okay. And guess what? Your outcome is not going to be successful and you're not going to be prosperous. You know why? Because you lack the call, because you're a fool. You're a fool. Okay. You're the person who's a kas. And a kas means somebody that has a kaf and a samak. Okay. And this means to cover. What you're covering your mind. From what? From learning. You don't want to learn anything. I'm going to cover your mind. You're a fool. You're a fool, and your outcomes will not be prosperous. And you won't be successful. Why? Because you don't use understanding. Because you're not sakal, you're not prudent. You lack comprehension. Okay. So Yah knows that his people are foolish. So because my people are foolish, I'm going to give them a foolish king. I'm going to put somebody foolish in their life so I can bring out what I want. So because they don't know. See? So the people didn't know. So the Most High said, I'm going to make it known now to you. And so I'm going to put a fool over you. So you'll know how foolish you are for making the decision that you want this person. See? So that's what the Most High is going to do. Why? Because Yah has a point. Yah has a point. He's going to prove a point. And the way that he proves this point is this way. Listen to this. The Most High uses this. Okay. The Most High wants to point you somewhere. Okay. The word point has to do with the finger. And the finger has to do with the Torah. And the Torah has to do with this root called Yareh. Or Yera. Here it is. And it means to point. And you're going to point. Forgive my writing. You're going to point the finger in a direction that you want someone to go to, and that's called instructions. So I'm going to instruct you. So the Most High says, if you would do, and this is in the same chapter that Dawid was talking about his sin and saying, I've been a rebel, I've acknowledged my sin to you. Okay. So the Most High says this, I will instruct you, I'm going to point you, and I'm going to teach you in this way that you are to go. And I will give you counsel, and my eyes will be watching you. The Most High is constantly watching us. He's constantly putting his finger, right, and letting us know, like, if you were to repent, because this chapter here has to do with David saying, I'm sorry for being a rebel. Once you come to the understanding that you're a rebel and you fully shuv and return from that way, the Most High says, then I'm going to instruct you. I'm going to teach you. Okay. I'm going to teach you the way to go. And the way that he's going to instruct you and where he's going to point you back to is the Torah. because that's where everybody makes their mistake because they leave the Torah. Okay. And because they're accepting counsel from other people, he says, my eyes will be watching you. And then he tells this, which is very interesting. The Most High says, don't be like a horse or a mule that has no what? No understanding. If you don't have any understanding, that means you don't comprehend. If you don't comprehend, that means that you're a fool. That means that you lack sakal. That means that you're not prudent, you're not wise, you won't have successful outcomes. And so the bottom line is, I don't want you to be like a horse or a mule because they have to be curbed. I got to put something in their mouth. I got to put something hard. You know, putting a bit in a horse's mouth can actually hurt their jaws and hurt their teeth. And I got to put a bridle on them in order to turn them to the direction I want them to come. And that's the only way I can pull them near to me is if I do this. So going back to that command that he gave us, a quarav, I want you to draw near to me. So the only way that I don't want you to be this way because this is being forced. I don't want to force you. I don't want to stick something in your mouth to force you to come back to me. I don't want when I call you and I give you a command to come to me, you just won't come to me. So now I got to put a bridle in your mouth. I got to put a bit in your mouth. I got to harness your jaws. Otherwise, you're not going to come to me. You're not going to draw near to me. Is that our relationship? Because you want to be a fool? Because you don't want to learn? You don't want to be taught? You want to use wisdom? Because you care about what other people think? The way that I'm leading you on is a path. And the path that you're on is the path that I have set out for you, which is the Torah. Yah gives this through King Shlomo as words of encouragement, leading you back to the Torah. My son, obey. See the little I right there? It's an imperative. Shema, listen, guard your father's command. Mitzvah, don't abandon your mother's Torah. That teaching right there in the Hebrew is called Torah. The Torah that your mother's trying to teach you is what's going to help you on the path. Next imperative, bind them always on your heart, which is your mind. What? The Torah. Them, what? The commands. What? The Torah. The commands. The Torah. The mitzvah. The Torah. Put those things on your mind and tie them, another command, imperative, them around your neck. Show the people that this is what you do. Let it be a necklace around your neck. Wear it proudly. You know, people put a whole bunch of chains on their neck. They don't have it under a whole bunch of clothes. They make sure everybody sees it. When you walk, when you halak, when you live your life, they will what? The commandments and the Torah will lead you with a shepherd's staff. When you lie down, they will watch over you. When you wake up, they will talk with you. Just like when he tells us that parents, you need to teach your children when, what? You lead them on the road. When they lie down, when they get up. You always need to be talking to them. So the mitzvahs and the Torah of the Most High is always with us and always talking with us. Why? Because the mitzvah is a lamp. The commandment is a lamp. It is a vessel that you're going to put the light in. And it's going to have the oil in it. Burning on the wick, put the oil in it, the flames come in, and then there's light. So the lamp is the vessel that holds the light, which is the Torah. You need the commandment in order for you to hold the Torah. The commandment itself is the lamp that holds the light and is there to correct you. When it talks about reproof, is there to correct you, is there to discipline you, is there to put you in the right state of mind, is there to chasten you. This is what it's for, folks. It's a lamp, and its light is the Torah. You can't have light without the commandment. This is the reason why the Most High in his teaching this week had told us about the menorah and said, when you make it, I need you to make the vessel. Then once you make the vessel, you put the shemen and the oil in and you keep it lit. You know, they talk about today, stay lit, it's lit. You need to be lit. You need to be on fire all the time. You need to have this. And why would a person need a lamp with some light in it? Because you're walking in darkness. And the places that you and I are in right now is in complete darkness. And what this helps us with is when we have our lamp, you and I are walking on a path that we need light. Just like when the children of Israel came out of Mizraim, the Most High was with them during the day and he was with them through the night. And what was in the night? Fire. Because the Torah is light, but the Torah is fire. So do you need to go to the wilderness? Do you need to be brought out of Mizraim? Do you need the Red Sea to be parted? Do you need that? Or do you need the Torah to walk you through with the Most High walking with you in the darkness? In the darkest part of our lives, you and I should never be afraid because Yahweh is with us if you have the Torah. If you don't have any Torah, you don't have any light. You understand? So look at the commands that were given. That's the path. You need light for the path. That's the point. Kokma. You might ask yourself, well, what's Kokma? Kokma is wisdom. That's what it is. Okay, Kok means power. Ma means what? So the power of what? The power of what is the ability to ask questions. Because Ma means what? Kok is power. So let's look at what that means. Okay, what do you mean the power to ask questions? A wise person is somebody who's going to be inquisitive. A wise person is someone who's going to be able to take something down and chop it down to see what it is before they make a decision. They're going to look at every area. They're going to look at every little nook and cranny. They're not just going to just take something because somebody wants to give it to them. They're going to be able to know the distinctions in things and the differences. They're going to be able to make separation. Okay. The Hebrew word kokma is the power to ask questions, but it also comes from the agricultural idea of making cheese. Okay. So how do you make cheese? Well, what they would do is they would take an animal skin bag and they would take goat milk and they would take that goat milk and put it in that skin bag. Okay. They would shake it violently. After they shake it violently, they would hang it on a pole of the tent. And where would they hang it? Outside. Outside in the heat. So the heat, okay, the shake it, the animal skins, the goat milk, okay? And after they do this a while, they would be able to have curds. And then the curds would separate from what they would call the water that was in there from the milk. Okay. The water would then turn into whey, which is like a protein drink. Okay. So they to do that, right? I spelled protein wrong. protein. Okay, so you got the whey protein, which is the water. You got the curds, which is the cheese, which is making the separation and division. So that's what it's about. So when the process of making cheese is being able to take something, put it in a vessel, shake it up, hang it out in the sun, you got to shake it violently. The enzymes inside of the animal skin bag will interact with the milk, make that separation. Now you got water and you got the cheese, you got the curds. So being a wise person means that you can make a distinction and be able to separate things. You could be able to look at something and chop it down. You just won't accept it. You'll break it down. You'll find out what the elements are before you get involved in it. You want to know what they would say, what the ingredients are. So, being wise means when you go to the store, you would look at a package and you would read the ingredients before you buy it. You just wouldn't buy it because it said it was, what do you call it? Hillshire's sausage, is beef. You're like, okay, it's beef. Okay, great. Put it in the basket. No, a wise person would say, well, let me look at this and see what it's wrapped in. Is it wrapped in pork skin, pork casing? Wise person would look at it at a brush and say, wait a minute, what is this brush made from? Yeah, I see it's wood, but what's the bristles made from? Oh, you're going to find out it's made from pig hair. Oh, really? Yeah, it's pig hair. Okay. Wise person will look at a toothpaste and find out whether or not they got pig in it, whether they got pork in it, some of those enzymes. A wise person, before they go to a restaurant, will find out, are you guys, cooking bacon on the same grill that I just ate my hamburger from? A wise person will look at a person and say, well, can I be a friend with this person? Does this friend right here, are they involved in any type of things that are against the Torah? A wise person is able to make distinctions. A wise person would say, before I get involved with this person to date or to think about considering marrying, I really want to look down the future and see if this is really going to work. Is this person going to follow what I'm saying? Are they going to follow the Torah? A wise person, a fool would ignore those things. You see? So the commandment is to make a distinction between a fool and somebody that's wise. Because a fool will not do what they're told. A fool would go against what the Most High said. That's what a fool is. And that's the reason why this story is so important. Because what was going on with Shaul, he decided that he's going to make his moves because he's impatient. Okay. And he didn't follow the instructions of the Most High. Okay. And we're given this idea that anything that we do, you and I are going to always have to be on guard. That's what they call shamar. You're always going to have to be on guard. Because that's what the Most High has called us to. You can never drop your guard, especially when it's coming to the mitzvah or mitzvoth, plural. You can't drop your guard because is his name not yo, hey, wah, hey? And then he tells us that it's what? Sa, wa, oth? Is that not part of his title? You see? And this is the king of the universe. So the king of the universe is over all heaven's armies. He's over all commands because that's what Zavaoth is. It's not just armies, it's commands because he commands everything. So you and I are to guard and be on guard all the time. Guard what? The commandment. If you don't guard the commandment, then you're a fool. In order to obey, I left that word right there on purpose because it's saying that in English. In Hebrew, it's guard, it's shamar. The mitzvot of Yahweh, the commandments of Yahweh, your Elohim, which I'm giving you, do not add to what I'm saying and do not subtract from it. So Moshe, our teacher, said that you and I are to guard. In order to guard the mitzvot of Yahweh, I'm giving you, you cannot add to what I said and I'm saying, and you should not subtract. This add right here is to increase it. So you want to throw your little extra on it and say, well, you know, he said this, and I think it means this too. You know, I don't see anything wrong with that. So that you increase it, because add means to increase. Yosef. He says, so don't Yosef it, don't do that, and don't subtract. So the subtraction right there is diminish. That means to remove anything from it. Don't remove anything about from what I said. You guard exactly what I said. If I told you that pork is unclean, I don't care if it's mixed with something. If I told you that this person is not good for you, don't you add to what I said. If I told you that the person who does such a thing is going to be put to death, don't you go around and try to, monopolize or manipulate what I said. See, because your job is to guard what I said. Going back to what the Most High said when he told us when we first got involved with him, he said, these are the things I want you to do. I want you to shemoah, which is to listen and obey, and I want you to guard my words. And they said, everything that you said, we're going to do. So don't act like you don't know what you signed up for. You do know what you signed up for. Your family put you in this position. It was your family's fault, the reason why you're in exile. But also, too, look at it in a beautiful way. It's your relationship with your family that I have with them that allows you to even call on my name. So don't look at the negative, look at the positive. That you have access to me. But when you come to me, you come to me on my terms. You don't add what I said and you don't subtract from it. That's how you guard what I said. Do you know that Shaul, the Most High, had given him his spirit? Listen to this carefully. Then the spirit of Yahweh will fall on you. This is Shemuel telling Shaul before he became the king what was going to happen. And he says he will fall on you. The spirit of Yahweh will fall on you, and you will prophesy with them and be turned into another man. Then when these signs come over you, just do whatever you feel like doing, because Elohim is with you. Then you are to go down ahead of me in Gilgal, and there I will come to you and offer burnt offerings and present sacrifices of peace and offerings, and wait there 7 days. So here, before I continue, these 7 days is not the 7 days that he mentions that we just had in chapter number 13. These 7 days is right before he inaugurated him. Just going to our Torah portion where we had 7 days of inauguration, he's saying, just wait there 7 days because I'm going to inaugurate you until I come and I'm going to tell you what to do. Because that's what it is. The Mishpatim is to tell you how you should behave as a king, what you're going to have to do in all this. But the Most High gave him his spirit. And as it happened, as soon as he had turned his back to leave Shemuel, Elohim gave him another heart. He gave Shaul another mind. And those signs took place on that day. So the Most High knew that this man was going to be the way he was, but the Most High equipped him, because even with Shaul, prior to him doing this rebellion in chapter number 13, we're in chapter number 10 right here, he was doing everything the Most High said. Prior to chapter number 13, he was doing everything. The spirit of Yah was on him, had a new mind and everything. Okay, so what I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to let you know that the Most High can give a person a right mind and a right heart to do what he wants them to do. And then that person himself has a will, okay, which we talked about. He can do something in his own volition. He can do it out of his own desire. So you see that the spirit of Elohim is not magical. The Most High can give you a mind that he needs you to have in order to do what he needs you to do for him. And at the same time, you still can have your own desires. And you can turn at any given moment from the Most High, if that's who you are. You see, and that's what's dangerous about this. And this is the reason why the Christians don't want you to know this, because they're telling you that you have the spirit of Elohim, right? And that you have a spirit and you're doing all these wonderful things and you can speak in tongues and all these types of things. But they're not being honest with you to tell you that when the Most High gives you his spirit, You're going to do the things that he needs you to do for him, which would be great things. Okay. Which we're going to get in our Torah portion probably next week and the week after, where he talks about, I've filled the children of Israel with the spirit of wisdom so they can design the curtains, and they could design the menorah, and they could design the Ark of the Covenant, they could design the altar incense, and they could take these and wove in these cherubims and the malachims, and they could do all these sorts of things. Okay. But my point is to show you that the Most High had gave him another mind. It was available to him, and he chose to go after the spoils. The word for spoils is called shalal. Shalal. The name of our king is called Shaul. Okay. See? So, and the word for request is this too. See? So we share the same root, which is the shin and lamed. Okay. The shin and lamed means to be quiet. Okay. There's nothing but quietness after the war. Because after the war, you get the spoils. Remember, the Most High is trying to draw something out, because it means to draw out, because you're drawing out the spoils after the war. Okay. Something unknown. You don't know what you got until you finish the war. Okay. So here so what the Most High is trying to teach us is that some people are at war. Okay. And the biggest war that they're at or with is the war that they have with the Most High. Okay. And also too, but that war is being fought within the mind. That's where your war is at. And your war with Yah is inside of your mind. That's where the battle's taking place. Okay. And so within this war that we're having within ourselves, it's going to be determined whether or not Yah is going to be king, or you are going to give someone else the power to be king over you. If Yah is the king, then you will be defeated. You will put to death everything about you that's in contrary and rebellion to the Most High. But we are going after the spoils. Okay, so let me explain to you about the spoils, because this is exactly what the Most High has given us, this king, to show us what the spoils are like, because that has to do with his name. Okay. So now in chapter number 15, which is our Haftarah, which goes along with our Torah portion, I'm sorry for going a little bit over. He says, why did you seize the spoil instead of paying attention to what Yahweh said? Okay, so this is the second time that Shaul did this. Okay, so this is after some war. The Most High had told Shaul, go to Amalek and go and kill everybody. I want you to kill their children. I want you to kill their males. I want you to kill their females. I want you to kill all the animals. I want you to do away with everything. Well, he didn't. Okay, so when Shaul was out finishing what he did, Shemuel showed up and said, why did you seize the spoil instead of paying attention to what Yahweh said? From Yahweh's viewpoint, you have done an evil thing. Shaul said to Shemuel, I did pay attention. I did what Yahweh said. I carried out the mission on which Yahweh sent me. I brought back Agag, the king of Amalek, and I completely destroyed Amalek. But the people took some of the spoil, the best of the sheep, the cattle set aside for destruction to sacrifice to Yahweh, your Elohim in Gilgal. Seems like it's a good thing to do, but it's not. It's not tov. It's not functional. Shemuel said, does Yahweh take as much pleasure in burnt offerings and sacrifices as in obeying what Yahweh says, meaning the commands of the Most High? Surely obeying is better than sacrifice. That's what's functional. That's what's tov. And heeding and paying attention to commands, orders, than fat of rams. For rebellion, listen to me, rebellion is like the sin of sorcery. This is coming from Shemuel. He tells us what rebellion is. Rebelling against the Most High is like being a sorcerer. And you know a sorcerer is going to be put to death. Rebellion is the stubbornness like that of a crime of idolatry. You know that an idolater is going to be put to death. Because Yah would send people in to go kill entire cities if he found out that there was idolatry there or a sorcerer. You kill that person, you kill everybody there. If they're involved in idolatry, burn the city down, burn everything in it, kill all the animals, the kids and everything, burn up everything and leave it as a heap. Because you have rejected the word of Yahweh, he too has rejected you as king. He thought he did the right thing, but he wasn't paying attention to detail. There's a cost. There's a cost for this. My people are destroyed for the want of knowledge. Because you rejected knowledge, I will also reject you as Kohen for me, because you forgot the Torah of your Elohim. I will also forget your children. I put that there to simply tell you that there's a cost. It's not a cost to this king because he lost his kingdom, right? And of course, if you read this chapter, you'll find out that he asked and he said, I sinned, and he repented and all that, and he thought everything was going to be good. And he asked Shemuel, please come with me and make a sacrifice. And he said, no, I'm not with you because Yah's not with you. I'm not with you because Yah's not with you. So there's a cost, okay? So if you and I ignore the Most High, okay, and we rebel against him, we rebel against his commands, is as if you and I are doing sorcery and we're doing idolatry. And it's not good. If you and I would believe that we kept the commandments of the Most High and we do everything he asks except for the one detail, one little part, and we think that that's acceptable, it's not. It's not acceptable to the Most High. We have to keep every detail of what he said. That's why he says you should not add or subtract what I'm saying. So what it was is that King Shaul, he was going after the spoils because that's part of his name, right? He's looking for that which is unknown. And he was moved by the people. And he used the people as an excuse to be in rebellion against the Most High. So what the Most High is letting us know is that you have to stop using people as your excuse, because the ultimate deal is that you're the one who's going to perish. You're going to die and you're going to perish. I'm going to get rid of you because you're the people who have been against me the whole time. So I want you to go away from your rebellion. I don't care about the pressure that you're under of the people. You got to stand up for the Most High. You should listen to what the Most High said. So we don't need to be impatient. We have to grow to be more patient. Okay. Next week, the Torah for us will be in Shemot chapter number 30, verses 11 through chapter 34, verses 35. And then I think there's a little side one there in chapter number 19, verses 1 through 22. You can take a screenshot of that. That's where we're going to be studying next week. The Haftarah, which is the additional reading that goes along with the Torah to bring out more information. Like I was able to find about the command in chapter number 15, but I took a little bit further. I said I wanted to know more information. So I went to chapter number 8 where it all began. And then I was able to see a pattern that Shaul was doing against the Most High. Okay, so this is what it is. So if we follow the Most High and we follow the Tetzavah, I'm commanded, right, by the Most High, don't add or subtract from what I'm saying. Tell the people exactly what I said. Don't go outside of what I said. Okay, don't get moved by what people say. Okay, I love each and every last one of you, but I'm here to warn all of us, including myself, that we better pay attention to the details. Okay, any questions, concerns, contributions, additions, subtractions? I'm sorry for keeping you over. I'm only 1 minute over, but I think I did fairly well today. Anyone like to add to what I'm saying? Yes, Azania.
I have a question, and I also have a comment. I just like what you had to say about our ancestors and how they chose this life for us. And you know, it is really righteousness because they chose this, and how many times they agreed to this, and how, you know, Yah says it in Malachi, in every generation, our ancestors, they basically bucked him, and they knew that they went through the blessing. So that was a reality. So they knew the cursings had to be a reality. And so they kind of chose this for us. And it's very hard kind of trying to explain that to the youth these days, you know. They don't consider it fairness because there's so much disconnect, you know. I mean, it's our families are disconnected, and they kind of teach that in today's society. So thank you for breaking it down the way that you did. But I also wanted to ask you this question, because you were going on about Ahuran, and I really saw the lineage clear. And I understand that Yehoshua, who took over when Moshe died, he was from the line of Ephraim, right?
Correct.
Correct. So who is the Yehoshua in Zechariah 3?
He's from a line of the Levites. He's from a Kohanim. He's from a family of priests.
Oh, he's from the family of priests. Okay.
Yeah,
I figured he
more-
had to
yeah.
be a high priest, but I just
Yeah.
always wondered. I always thought they were the same people until I heard you say that Yehoshua was from the line of Ephraim. So,
So
Okay.
there have several people who have like similar names, like Akituv. There's like
Yeah.
two or three of them.
okay.
Um,
Okay.
Yeah, you have several ones they share some of the same names. There's Yeshua. He's a Levite. He's a Leviim. So people say, well, where's the name of Yeshua? The name of Yeshua is in the family of the Levites. He's a Leviim. So there's the Leviim, and then there's the Kohanim. So we find out who's from the Leviim and who's from the Kohanim. So a lot of times people are like, well, did Shemuel, was he part of the Levitical family? And absolutely true. Because they say, well, his mother is the one who just brought him there, but they don't know what his lineage is. But his lineage is he's a Leviim. He's from that family. So that's what gave him the right to go and to speak on behalf of the children of Israel to the Most High. So yeah, that family is that. But thank you for those contributions. And you're right, our families are disconnected.
Yeah, they're real disconnected. I mean, and we do it these days, when we kind of